Okay, welcome to our welcome to the new episode of our podcast. And today we're gonna discuss about INOs. So as we all know, like businesses use different fundraising strategies to finance their operations. Conventional businesses conduct an IPO or an initial public offering in the stock market in order to finance their projects, promising lucrative return on investment or ROI later to the investors. When using blockchain, however, companies can afford to have a different way of financing and developing their projects. The most well-known method is called an ICO or an initial coin offering, whereby companies are selling their own custom-made tokens to investors to collect the money they need to run essential projects. Apart from the ICO, fundraising activities using blockchain can also be done through an INO or an initial node offering. In a way, INO is different from ICO, and actually, like, it's not well understood among people how INO works, despite it being a new alternative for P2P network. So in order to understand how INO works, since Blockchain Zoo has been experienced in conducting an INO before, today I'm going to talk to Blockchain Zoo CEO Roberto Capodieci and he will help us understand more about how the INO work. Yeah, so I'll ask him some questions. But before we go to specific details about the INO, can you explain to us like how the ICO work and then how does it differ from the IPO?
Sure. So, first of all, thank you for having me here. And the IPO is regulated by the stock market and allowed to sell shares. So, piece of ownership of the company. So what is being put in the market is the company, right? In an IPO, a company issues shares that are then put and regulated on the stock market where people can buy for little money or relatively little money, a small portion of the company. And the money that they collect later is the revenue that is split between the shareholders, and so there is a piece of revenue for each share that somebody owns, plus the increase of value of the share itself. So if I buy a share for $10 and then the company increases in value, my share increases in value because it's a piece of the company. So when I'm gonna sell my shares, I can make a profit or a loss sometimes. In blockchain, which is not really, let's say with crypto, in the crypto world, thanks to the centralization and the smart contract of Ethereum, people can create their own cryptocurrency, their own token, and this token can represent many things. So as it is easy and very cheap to create a token, so we're talking about spending $50 or less, depends on the moment, on the cost of the transaction to do so, to install the smart contract that represent tokens. People can do a sale of this token because later the token can be valid for something. So it's not a piece of ownership of the company unless they intend that this token to be a piece of ownership of the company, which is actually illegal because it's a regulated functionality. So, for example, I'm opening a coffee, like a cafe downtown, and I plan to sell 100,000 coffee in 1 year, and this 100,000 coffee actually will make me the money to finance the construction of my cafe. So I can create coffee cards, each one valid 10 coffees, and pre-sell to people in front of the future location of my cafe the coffee card at a very cheap price, because let's say usually coffee is $1 and I'm gonna sell you the card for 50 cents a coffee. So you can then resell the card to your friends for 75 cents a coffee, make a profit, and they still save compared to the market price that the cafe is gonna have in my coffee. And I can raise all the money that I need to build up the coffee, and then I need to keep my promise in returning. So this is, let's say, the more legal vision of a token in an ICO. So ICO usually is split in phases. In the moment that I can say, hey, this is the early phase, you can buy only $10,000 of coffee card per time, no one. but you pay 25 cents a coffee at the beginning, so you can resell the coffee in the market for cheaper. Then second phase, you can buy it for less. Then is a public sale where people can buy at the price that the market has, and then people that bought at the beginning usually resell. So it's easy to also create a lot of emphasis. Everybody wants the coffee card, and then people dump, so they bought at 25 cents, they resell at $1.50, let's say, because eventually the request is so high that the coffee card are gonna be $10 per coffee, because that's the amount that can be sold, and that's the amount in the market. So this is the ICO. ICO, they stand for initial coin offering, because this token are seen as a coin. Is what stormed the market at the beginning, and then fell under the regulation, because some are seen as a security, some are seen as a future. I cannot tell you, take this token and pay 5 because in the future it's gonna be worth 10. That's illegal. You cannot. There are many things that cannot be done, and so they start being regulated and forbidden around the world. A lot of companies being asked to return the money. I think Telegram did a big ICO and have been forced to return a lot of the money that they collected, for example, because they fall into this regulation. Others are started to do things in the different name. From ICO, they went to IEO, they went to a lot of other things. At the end, it was the same thing, just with a different name. What is the problem with this ICO is that usually we're a website of a single page with 3 pieces of information only. They had what they call white paper, which was actually a color brochure of 2 pages of what is the big idea. And most of the people that purchased, they found a way to purchase big money at the beginning. They were not even caring what was the project about. They were just buying coin to inflate the price and dump them, pump and dump. That's which is illegal in the stock market, but found a space into the ICO market. That's why ICO, I never did one. People were asking me, why don't you do an ICO with this or that? Because I find them highly unethical, as being found out that a lot of people raise millions in very short time and never deliver the project, because some were a scam to start with, others were just incapable of delivering the project. Other they just see a lot of money, they start buying nice car, house, and then they finish the money without delivering the project. So I didn't like the thing, so I knew that there was the need of something else.
Oh, okay. So I hope I understand it correctly. So in an ICO, they dump the investment when they don't deliver the project. How can they dump?
They don't know. They just walk away. They say, I sold you the token, you bought the token from me, that's it. The transaction between us finished there, and good luck with you with this token. There is, because there were no regulations specific for these electronic, peer-to-peer tokens. A lot of people in the beginning, when it was a huge gray area, walk away with a lot of money and nothing else. I personally know people that collect in the hundreds of millions of dollars in hours, because they did a very good work in creating a hype. Everybody wanted, they don't even know why they wanted this token. They opened, they sold it, and then they never delivered, and they walked away, or they tried to deliver and they failed. But there is a lot of people trying to do class action against them, but there are no law or regulation mostly at the time. We're talking about 2017, 18, 19 as a period that protect the quote-unquote investors, because they were not investors, because it's never being put down, you're investing in my company, I'm raising funds I'm selling you a token, and you buy the token, and thank you for your money, enjoy your token. That's pretty much what it boils down to, but then regulators are going in, and in fact, people in many countries cannot do this ICO anymore.
So in other words, like in the pump and dump scenario, the investors never get the ROI promised to them in the beginning when they bought the coins?
I would say that in 90% of the cases, the only people that make money is people that purchase in a pre-sale, in a private sale at the beginning at a very low price. And when the token opened to the public, to the market at a higher price, they immediately sold at a lower price compared to the market, so everybody bought, but 4 times, 5 times, 10 times what they purchased it at the beginning. So surely, as public, there is people that made money by buying and selling. As creator of the token, they paid nothing to create the token, so whatever they sold, there is money that they collected. So it became a sort of a criminal organization, if you want to say like this, between the person that created the token, the whale, so the very rich guy that gonna buy for very cheap money, but for a big quantity of money in total, and then the push in the market. So let's say, look, you have a lot of money, and then you can buy $100,000, $200,000. Your $200,000 is gonna become $500,000. I am okay with $200,000 for myself, so you buy a very low price, together we help make a big hype, we open to the public, I sell for 10, you sell for 9, and automatically people are gonna buy from you before than me, but some gonna buy from me, you make all your money back, multiply 5 times, 10 times, I make some extra money, and then if we want, with the money we collected, I'm gonna deliver the project that was promised in 3 pages, or let's just send a newsletter every week with some fake news, and then until people forget about us. That's what most people did in practice. So very few projects actually became real. Usually the more humble are actually good, but people that is good in sales hardly is good in technology, and vice versa.
So it's similar to how people are selling junk bonds, yeah. So yeah, they will divide.
The famous wolf of blockchain in place of the wolf of Wall Street, is something that is actually, in these exchanges forum. It's exactly the same thing.
Okay, so like if that's the weakness of the ICO, so how does the INO work better than the ICO in this case?
The INO is a process that is very particular, taught specifically for the centralized system. In a perfected way, because a decentralized system doesn't belong to anybody. So in an ICO, there is a company or a person that has a project that is collecting this money for this coin sold and then whatever. But a real decentralized system, let's say a new blockchain or a new service that is peer-to-peer, can be the new video streaming service or calling system or whatever it is, will require a lot of nodes to run. And these nodes are there to support, to make the service existing, right? So there is a part, there is the coding and the betterness of the things, and then there is the service running. If it is a real decentralized service, it's not like a company behind that makes all the money using another blockchain or something, but is actually the blockchain, the decentralized system, the money for the use of the service, they should go to the nodes. They shouldn't go to anybody else, right? Because the nodes are those that make the service possible. Yet you need some money to code the system. So the idea of an INO, the stand for initial node offering, is to have a very clear project that is a decentralized system, very well outlined, and selling the right to run a node in this decentralized system, because then when people start using the system, the payments that they do, they are distributed among all the nodes. So this is why it's an initial node offering. And the money collected should go to implement this service through bounties, through the open source community, through a steering committee or whatever it is that will drive the implementation or the functionality of the service. Because after the service is launched, you still need to make it better, you still need to fix the bug, you still need to add a new functionality. So, and this should be open to the public because it's decentralized, so anybody should participate. and the money collected by the INO should give the initial incipit, and then people should just throw money for bounties, so developer can fix bugs, can make things better. So the idea of an INO is deeply set for decentralized projects that I suggest are already tangible. So rather than a project that people narrate what it should be, there should be something that people can touch with hands, or the potential set of team that proposed this INO should comprise people with the skill set and the experience to actually make it happen. They should be always open to the open source community. So initial node offering, people purchase no more a token like the one of the ICO. They purchase an NFT because it's a unique ID of a unique node that is gonna run the service, and then it's gonna be entitled to earn money by people using the service. So if it's a blockchain, will be the coin that is distributed at every new block. If it is a telephony system, is the payment of the phone call that is being done. If it's a data storage, is the storage money that people pay. They will pay to the centralized system now, but this is paid in the peer-to-peer network to the nodes.
And lots of blockchain practitioners actually have always emphasized that the INO is more than just about money. Like, can you explain like why more than it's not just about money? I mean,
yeah, more than just It's more than just about money. Yes, exactly, because it doesn't allow the pump and dump. It doesn't allow the speculation that an ICO token easily allow. In fact, as I was saying, ICO, people that have money, they just come in, buy and resell. They don't even care about what the project is about. There is the speculation on top of it. Most of the time is the reason why the project died, right? In an INO, people should be very well informed, and they should care about the project because they themselves are going to be part of the project once it runs. So it is a little bit more niche, if you want, more devoted to people that want to do something to make the planet a better place. They want to decentralize core services, if you want. And in fact, I think is a golden opportunity for people that made a lot of money with ICOs. And now with the price of Ethereum and Bitcoin going very much high, they can give back. So at this point, they can say, okay, I made a lot of money, I can still do more, doing more ICO and other things, but why don't I put some money in some project that have the bottom layer technology made better for future, systems that are gonna be then implemented, and that's a nice place. That's also why ICO token, they may cost 25 cents, 1 cent, 0.01 cent each. NFT for an INO usually are $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, $2,000, are not little in purpose, because when you buy something that is worth 5 cents, who cares?
Yeah.
If you put $1,000, $5,000, then you want to know what's going on with the money. You're forced to be concerned and to be involved, and that's the reason why the INO usually address prices that are a little bit higher, affordable to everybody if you want to, but of an amount that people want to concern about it if you want to.
Okay, so like, does it mean that only those who understand the decentralization technology can partake in the INO? Or yeah, because you said it was very niche.
But I would say that in a way, yes, doesn't have to have a deep knowledge, but need to be aware of the technology, right? It's like people that collectors of cards, they buy and resell cards. They can be the guy that just buy and resell because he finds a good deal, or the guy that is broke who wants to sell for cheap and resell and doesn't care much. And they can be the guy that actually loves the cards, knows all the technology, or all the engine, how it works, etc., etc. So in this case, you have somebody that cares about the technology, right? In the case of the car, will be how the engine, the brakes, etc., etc. So when somebody set up initial new car functionality offer, if you want, to make a better engine or to make a better brakes, take the case of Tesla. Tesla started making electric car, invented electric car if you want, because it already existed, right? But it started making super expensive sport cars, simply because he had no means to mass produce cars at the time, right? So he started with that, and people that bought those cars were trying to support the project of Tesla. It's not just somebody that say, oh my God, I want this car. Yes, yeah, maybe, but I can buy a Lamborghini, I can buy something else. It's not, it's more, I purchase a car from Tesla because it's beautiful and because it's gonna give the company the funds to grow and then make a cheaper car for more people, and then grow and make even cheaper car for even more people. And it's exactly what happened. And you know, Elon Musk himself, he says, you know, like, we start with very expensive car because we can produce limited amount of car, and it doesn't make sense to produce limited amount of cheap cars. Right? So, and in this mechanics, he managed to finance the startup of Tesla, plus putting his own personal money. He believed in his project, right? So if every car was sold as an NFT, if you want, then he could have, you know, financed the production without having to put out his own money, if the city didn't have the money, right, or something like that.
And what are the benefits for those who buy the nodes? What can they get from it?
Owning a node, so a little bit, I saw the need to mimic a little bit the ICO, because there is no way that only people interested in making a better technology for a better world is going to participate. So there is a little bit of space for those that buy bigger quantity in an initial private sale, on a pre-sale, to resell them later at a cheaper price compared to the market and make some profit. After all, NFT can be traded, right? But if they really believe in the project, they will know that even a better return of investment, if you want to look at their purchase as an investment, because the purchase is the purchase of the NFT. But there is the possibility to say, okay, I run the node because I believe this service is going to work, and this service is going to produce an income. So having a node means making an income. It's like if we are, let's say we are opening a restaurant, and a way to finance it is to say, you buy tables. You can pre-purchase a table, so when the restaurant open, the client that sits at your table, per se, you have a share, like a percentage of the food, or no, of the payment that they make. You know, like 10% of the bill goes to the owner of the table. Okay, so a restaurant has 100 tables, sell 100 NFT, one worth a table, and maybe one NFT is the table close to the entrance that is worth more than the one that is in the island, etc., etc. And when the restaurant open finally and the client come, and people sit at the tables, and the owner of the table has a cut of the bill. So it's the same thing when preparing a service that is in peer-to-peer, running on a network of node. If somebody purchases the right to run a node, then when the service run, the income that the service make is distributed, because there is no company that owns it, there is nobody behind it, it belongs to the public, belongs to the peer-to-peer network, so the payment goes to the different nodes. So if somebody buy a node, so buy in quantity at the beginning because has money to invest, can make money by reselling later at a cheaper price compared to the market, and this is speculative, and seems that some people like to do this anyway, and help also to raise the attention, because it's people is gonna go around and promote the project anyway. People that keep the node to run the node are gonna have an income based on the functioning of the node. In the case of a blockchain, it will be the coin that the blockchain generates, or plus the fees that the blockchain generates, things like that.
Yeah, okay. By the way, speaking of NFTs, we have already discussed NFTs in our previous episode 3, so make sure you check it out if you want to find out more about it or get a refresher of what NFT is and how it works. Okay, so now, tell us a bit about your experience running the Zoo INO 2020, right?
Right, that has been something interesting. So we did the first INO in history, and we learn a lot of things running the INO. For example, that we created this NFT on Ethereum blockchain, and suddenly the price of the fee of Ethereum went to the stars. So just registering data, because there is something nice. The NFT allow the owner of the NFT also to enter information inside the NFT. Like in the case of a piece of art, will be maybe the hash or the link to the picture of the art that they represent. In our case, people can leave a message in the Genesis block of a blockchain, like Satoshi Nakamoto left a message in the Bitcoin blockchain, and many other creators, anonymous or not, of various blockchain, left a message in the Genesis block. Because all these people will be having the account in the Genesis block of the blockchain that has been launched, our blockchain has about 200 messages, each one belonging to one node owner, and they're gonna be always there forever. So that's a pretty beautiful thing that somebody has. So people can enter in their NFT the message that they want to be present in the Genesis block of the blockchain. Plus they need to enter information such as which is the account where the coin that the node earn are sent to, plus an ID for their node. And this operation of registering this data went up to cost $150 just for registering, which made it very inconvenient in case people change their mind, want to register something else, or and transferring the NFT from a person to another ended up being very expensive as well, making it more inconvenient for people to trade if they wanted to trade. On top of this, the project until the last minute wasn't very secure, so we didn't push a lot, but we managed to sell about 200 nodes and to learn a good lesson on how to do an INO much better. So with DecBC now we are doing another INO, which is gonna have 1.5 years of time to consume for people to get their nodes, and is done in layer 2 blockchain and layer 2 network. So registering and transaction are super cheap. So that's now more a concern of what happened to Ethereum previously. So that's pretty much, I think, people at the time of DecBC, people had no idea what an NFT was. So it was also harder to explain them. You're getting a unique piece that can be then later used for this and that. Now with the boom of the NFT, where everybody is selling the whatever on NFT, it is a meme, it is then people know much better what an NFT is. So it's going to be much easier to offer to the market the purchase of an NFT as one piece of a working system that is going to run.
Okay, so if you're interested to find out more about the DecBC INO, you can just go to our website. There's an INO section there, and it also contains links and resources for you if you would like to join the INO. And is there anything else you want to add about the INO?
I do believe that is an opportunity for people that did well with cryptocurrency in the past to give back, because those are projects that are really there to make the base technology better. If you think a blockchain is now being adopted for the most strange things, managing our records of documents, etc., no more just cryptocurrency, but the technology never evolved to support these things. It's always been there for cryptocurrency. So in our case, DecBC is a decentralization blockchain, not based on cryptos, that can run also cryptos, but is built to be secure for many other services, can scale, has a lot of other functionalities, and is one step on a long trip that we're taking to decentralize many services. So for people that had a good return by being into the blockchain world just in the crypto, is a good moment to give back and be part of this revolution by having some nodes of this new blockchain.
Yeah, I think it will be a good idea, because the new project also has lots of useful functionalities, right? Like from document supply chain management, document, etc. So, okay, I think that's all. That's the perfect place to finish our conversation for today. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you gained some understanding about INO and then like how it works from this discussion. If you have any questions about INOs or would like to suggest some topics related to this issue, feel free to leave your comments on the comment section below if you're watching this on YouTube, or just visit our website, and then like you can also leave your comments or suggestions there. Send us a message. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and our podcast episode. I'm your host, Sebastian Bartolini.